Hello, everyone. News Channel 3, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson here with a Facebook Live update as we are talking about the colder air that's going on. I'm going to change my source back here on this monitor. This will just take me a second here, and then we'll get going. Sorry for that. Here we go. You see what's on the agenda here as we're still talking about the Arctic chill that is moving into West Michigan. It's actually with us now, that's for sure. So that's not going to change. There we go. Now we're good to go. And so I want to thank everybody for being here. I got 9:10 on the clock, just turned over to 9:11. So we'll talk about that colder air that's moving in, check on the latest wind chills. And also there is some hope for when we're going to see some warmer air start to move in. But I got to tell you, we're going to be under this deep freeze for quite some time. Jaden, hello to you in Matawan. I know there are a lot of school closings that have come in again because of the cold. And I think that we might be having to do this drill again tomorrow night, as it's going to be very cold. We're not going to get out of this dangerously cold air likely until Wednesday. And even then, it's going to stay cold for several more days. But I do think that we'll finally break out of this fully anyway, early next week. Eileen, hello to you. Good evening, Greg. A lot of businesses are closed. I understand. It is cold, right? It's so cold out there. Allegan checking in. Angel, thanks for that. Marty, hello. Oh, you got -2 in Denver. You actually beat us, I think. You're one of the few spots that beat us on the colder air. You know, earlier today, of course, you know, the Buffalo-Pittsburgh game, which had to be rescheduled from yesterday because, not really because of the cold, but because of the extreme blizzard conditions. Buffalo was warmer than we were today. Buffalo, I saw the air temp was 13 with a wind chill of 3, and we were at 8 with a wind chill of about -7 or -8, so it was colder here than in Buffalo, but not colder than where you are, Marty, there in Denver. Jasmine, I understand that. It is beyond cold. 60s in Clarksdale, Arizona. Stacy, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in, but that's okay. I know it's a dry heat, but whenever you're at 115 for the 10th day, we're gonna be looking you up. Craig, hello to you in Coldwater. It is cold in Coldwater. All right, let's get right to it here. I'm going to zoom back just a little bit, and then we'll get this thing underway. You see what's on the agenda. By the way, thanks for joining me not only on Facebook Live but also on YouTube too. Appreciate it very much. This dangerously cold air continues. There is some relief in sight. In the meantime, we're going to continue to see some more scattered lake effect snow, but there is some relief in sight. So let's get right to it. Here's the latest with the winter weather advisory. This hasn't changed. This goes through 1 o'clock Tuesday. Hello to you, Deb. Thanks for the thanks. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for being here. We have Berrien County, Van Buren, Allegan, Ottawa, Muskegon, and Oceana counties. Those are our lakeshore counties going north to south that are all under the winter weather advisory for another couple of inches of snow, maybe up to 4 in some of the heavier bands. That's not out of the question. But that goes until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's part of the story. Of course, the other part of the story is the cold air. We have that wind chill advisory. That goes through 10 a.m. Wednesday. And especially in the late night, early morning hours when we're at our coldest, we could have wind chills. You know, it says down to -20, but I think we could go as low as -25. And so obviously, you know, schools can't have kids standing out at the bus stop, or for those who maybe live too close to school and they have to walk, you can't do that. You just can't do that. So, John, it will not be any warmer tomorrow. Good question. And I'll get to that in a moment, but no, it will not be any warmer tomorrow. Joshua, your birthday in 23 days. Well, hopefully in 23 days, we'll be a little bit warmer, although we're still going to be in the middle of winter then too. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Be thankful you're in Arizona instead of in Middleville. That's good. Scott, hello to you. Thanks for checking in. And Marshall, Gwen, it's always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Well, you see the wind chill advisory. It's pretty much the I-94 corridor, and then working up into Eaton County toward Lansing, over toward Ingham County, down to Jackson and Hillsdale counties too. All of Wisconsin and much of northern Indiana. You see northern Ohio, all in this wind chill advisory. And you might note it looks a little odd that points north, the northern lower, for example, and especially when you get in the middle of the peninsula there, where you would think that that would be where the coldest air is. But actually, this cold air is wrapping around an area of low pressure, and our location or our spot in proximity, our location in proximity to that low is such that we're having a southwest flow that's coming in. And so this uber cold air that right now is over in Iowa and actually in northern Missouri and moving into Illinois and Indiana, it's going to be coming up from the southwest. And that's why actually the coldest air is south. So the counties along I-94 south instead of north, close to I-96, for example. So that's the latest on the wind chill advisory. That goes until Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Here's the latest with wind chills right now. They haven't really moved much from earlier in that a lot of sub-zero wind chills, down as cold as minus 12 in Dowagiac and Battle Creek, minus 14 in Hastings, GR at minus 10. So really cold air. Not so bad right now along the lake shore, especially once you get where you can tell the lake. Picture that southwest flow. I was about to reach over and touch my graphic here on the computer screen. That's not going to help you. Picture that southwest flow coming over Lake Michigan. And so, it's got a little more land influence in Benton Harbor and South Haven, hence the colder wind chills. Though I think South Haven just updated. Not as much in Holland and Muskegon, and certainly not Fremont and Big Rapids. And that's why those wind chills are not as cold there. Sean, good evening to you in Portage. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for being here. Here's the radar right now, and you can see that the snow showers that were out there are really diminishing. And that's going to continue to be the case, I think, overnight. Maritza, good cold evening to you too. And thank you for the thanks. And I hope that everybody can stay warm. Freezing in cold water. You're right, Jeanette. You got some really cold wind chills. Well, notice there's not much going on a radar here where we are. I do want to notice something as we look at the wider view. Look at those snow bands on a southwest wind that are now coming off of Lake Huron, for example, right? Off of Lake Huron up into Ontario, off of Lake Superior, but not to Marquette, not to Munising or Grand Marais, which are the usual suspects. Instead, coming off Lake Superior, going north into Ontario because it's the orientation of the wind here. Need some warm days. Oh, man, your place doesn't have heat. Cody, sorry about that. Rose, snow, but not as much as us, and -5 in Billings. Rose, thanks for holding down the Big Sky Bureau. We got the Mile High Bureau there with Marty, and we got Rose here with the Big Sky Bureau there in Billings. Thanks very much. Very cold air out there. In fact, you have the coldest air there in the plains, northern plains over toward the Rockies. That's the coldest air that's spilling, by the way, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Spilling all the way down to the Gulf Coast in southern Texas. That's pretty wild. But look at where the big snow is right now. It's in Tennessee. It's in Kentucky and West Virginia, and eastern PA, just to the south of Pittsburgh there. That's where the snow is really coming down to beat the band. Alicia, it is cold out there. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So here's the 7-day. I know this is a bit of a shorty, but there really isn't too much to talk about other than it's cold. Now notice on the 7-day, it's really cold tomorrow. A high of 8. Those lows hanging around 0, maybe even a little bit below 0. Remember, those are the air temperatures, not the wind chills. The wind chill is going to be even colder. Randall, any sun tomorrow, any illusion of warmth for us outside workers. I think if you're away from the snow belt, so if you're closer to I-9, US 131 or points east, I think you'll see some moments where you'll see some sun, but predominantly cloudy, especially the closer you are to the lake. Tomorrow, we're still working on a southwest wind flow, 15 to 20. So it's still going to be really cold. So Randall will have to cross our fingers. I think there's a bit of a better chance coming in here for Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, we have another chance for some snow showers before some sunshine Saturday, Sunday. But look at how our temperatures just stay cold. I mean, look at those morning lows. They really stay cold. But look at Monday. If you're tired of the cold and you're looking for some reason, the Bucks might beat the Eagles. Oh, man. So Bucks coming to Detroit. I got to tell you, I like that matchup, but the Bucks might be another team that's hot. Hey, we can't go into sports. I'm doing weather. So Monday, look at the temperature bump up to 30. That is a sign of things to come. The latest 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center has us trending warmer in about 9 or 10 days. So once we get to a week from tomorrow, a week from Wednesday, I think we're actually going to be seeing high temperatures in the mid-30s. We might even get to 40. So this uber cold air is going to be around for several more days. Mike, it is cold. Thanks for being here, as always. Robert, hello to you in Hartford. It is cold for sure. April, good evening. Looking forward to get out of the deep freeze. Well, it's going to be a few more days. You can see on the 7-day, we've got a few more days left of this. But next week, if that gives you some reason to hope, Randall out there, for illusion of warmer weather, if it gives you reason to hope, then just next week is going to be warmer. So you can write that down. Next week will be warmer, but this week is going to continue to be very, very cold. Don't forget that wind chill advisory, I-94 counties south, plus Eaton County, Ingham County, toward Lansing, Jackson, Hillsdale, you're included in that as well. But Allegan, Berry counties north, not included in that. But still, very cold. It just means that the wind chills aren't going to be quite as cold, but they're still going to be very cold, and what I would consider to be dangerously cold. Heart of January, it's the coldest time of the year. You're right, John. I mean, this is when it happens, right? In fact, I only know this from looking back to, this is the coldest air that we've had in 5 years, about. And you go back to January, or at least I know when you go back to January 31st, I believe, of 2019, 5 years ago, we had a high temperature, a high of -1, and the low was -18. So 'tis the season, right? It doesn't make it feel any better. I know that. But John, that's a very good point. Kathy, looking forward to walking outside again next week. Next week will be the week to do that. Next week, we're going to look at 35 degrees and say it's a heat wave. It's a heat wave. Good evening to you, Brenda. Thanks for being here. All right, I'm going to skate, everybody. I know it's a little bit abbreviated. Sorry about that. But I'll be live at 10 on the Arc West, Michigan, and then live at 11 on News Channel 3 with live updates. Don't forget, I'm on Facebook, WWMT's Keith Thompson. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, the @ and Weatherman Keith, all lowercase, all one word. Jet Porter's here bright and early in the morning. He's got that cold update for you, those out-the-door temperatures, and also the latest on where any snow might be, and the latest on the advisories, how they're faring as well. So give him a listen to, or give him a watch tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 9. He's got you again at noon. I pick you back up at 5, 5:30, and 6 tomorrow. We'll do another Facebook Live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Might sandwich another one in there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Start doing those as well. We're just trying to keep you updated on all different kinds of platforms as much as we can. Prayers for the homeless. Oh, man, that's for sure, Mike. I cannot imagine being outdoors in something like that. Cody, we are no longer a CW affiliate. So that's where ARC came from. We are not a CW affiliate. So that's about all I know about it. Other than that, as they say, it's above my pay grade. Maritza, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I appreciate that too, even when they're short. I appreciate that very much. All right, everybody. Hey, look, thanks for being here. I hope that you get a good night's rest. Let's be careful out there. I don't think that we're going to have widespread problems on the roads. If we do have any issues, I think it's going to be, let's say, close to Blue Star Highway, close to US 31, I-196, west of US 131. But I don't anticipate there being big problems. That said, this is the time of year when we always need to have a little extra care and caution. And of course, please stay warm. Please stay warm. Don't forget your pets, by the way. If you have outdoor pets, remember that a water bowl will freeze and there's no water. If it's frozen, it's just ice. Remember that. Keep that in mind, because this is a very cold period here, really for the remainder of the week. But I'll tell you this, tomorrow is when we sort of bottom out with the chill. And then we start working our way up slowly. But next week, we'll really get into some warmer air. So I hope that helps. Corey, good evening from Metro DC. Got about 2 to 4 inches there in the DC area. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. Always good to see you, Corey. Trisha in Colon, thanks for checking in. And Deb, thank you for the thanks. Joyce, prayers for the wildlife. Although I think the deer and stuff can handle it, but I don't know about our pets, right? But I do think about that. Last night when I was driving home and I saw some deer and I'm thinking, what do they think about this? And I'm sure that they have a nice warm spot to stay. But boy, it's brutal out there. Karen, thanks. Hey, thanks. 25 years. Been a fan. Need to make some badges or something like that, come up with something like that. So get this. I'm going to post about this, by the way, on my dinner break. I went to Will Haney. He's turning 30. So we had a little surprise birthday get together for him. And it's sort of funny. When Will was born, I had already worked at Channel 3 for almost 5 years. So I've been here for a little while. So thanks, Karen, for being a fan for 25 years. I appreciate it. Sheila, you're tired of the cold and snow. I get it. And Gene, hello to you in Kalamazoo. All right, everybody, I'm going to skate on out of here so I can get ready for News Channel 3 live at 10 on the Arc, West Michigan, and then also at 11. I hope to see you there. But stay safe and stay warm. And if I don't catch you tonight, we'll catch up again tomorrow. Good night.